television's automotive magazine. With your host, John Davis.
Hello and welcome again to MotorWeek 88. We're glad to have you with us. Car manufacturers can be fickle about some things. When Mitsubishi first introduced their Highline Galant sedan in 1985, they wanted automotive journalist types to pronounce the car's name Galant. We did, even though the public laughed when we did it. Well, now there's a new Galant, and this time Mitsubishi wants us to pronounce the name the way it reads, Galant. By using a more standard pronunciation, Mitsubishi has given the public what it wants. After all, who's going to buy a car if they feel silly using its name? And giving the public what it wants is the whole idea behind the new Galant. Giving the public what it wants involves a whole lot more than just a name that's easy to pronounce. You also have to give people a price that they can afford to pay. The new Galant is affordable. The base price is only $10,971 in standard trim. From there, you climb to $13,579 for the LS grade. The high-performance GS grade car that we tested starts at $15,269 and comes to a still reasonable $18,479 when fully loaded. Good looks attract buyers too, and the Galant GS has that in spades. There's a sharp, distinctive front end that looks more like what we're used to seeing from a European design studio than one outside Tokyo. The lines flow back to deeply sculptured side panels and Mercedes-style lower body cladding on the GS. Around back, there's a smooth, conservative tail with the GS's large rear wing added on for a bit of visual excitement. All in all, it's quite a handsome package. But the intelligent car buyer wants much more than a pretty wrapping at a good price. Look under the wrapping, and you'll find some very current technology. The GS draws power from a 2-liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder that breathes through no less than 16 valves. This allows it to make a very healthy 135 horsepower and 125 pound-feet of torque. Despite a green engine and damp track conditions, we still managed to launch the GS to the quarter mile in 17.5 seconds at 79 miles per hour. 0 to 60 ran a respectable 9.7 seconds. We're confident that a dry road surface would cut nearly a half-second off these times. The GS is helped along by a slick 5-speed manual shifter. Like most sport-grade cars, a manual is all that's available. A 4-speed automatic is optional on the standard grade car and required in the luxury LS. The GS's engine proved to be surprisingly smooth, pulling strongly through the entire power band. Quite a step forward for Mitsubishi. Handling is controlled by the latest version of Mitsubishi's active ECS suspension system. A dash-mounted control center allows you to set the suspension in sport, auto, or soft settings, giving the driver considerable latitude in choosing driving conditions. In sports setting, the GS is taut and nimble with mild front-end plow. The Galant GS has handling on par with many smaller European sports sedans, despite not having an independent rear suspension. The European feel is aided by the adjustable power steering that allows you to dial in a heavier, less boosted mode for better feedback in tight corners. Emergency maneuvers are quite uneventful, with an increase in front-end plow being the only discernible change in the car's controlled character. Braking is accomplished by a 4-wheel disc with an optional anti-lock system. This brings the Galant down from 60 miles per hour in an average of 129 feet. Stopping with this system is trouble-free. It's straight and smooth with no additional driver effort. Our wet track really pointed out how good anti-lock can be. Technologically, the Galant GS seems to have everything that the sport-loving public favors, but there's quite a bit here for the practical family buyer as well. The roomy interior boasts an impressive list of standard features, including a full selection of power accessories. That includes something called eTax 4, which among other things makes it impossible to lock the doors if you try to leave the Galant parked with the keys in the ignition. Dash layout is generally good, with plenty of clearly marked controls, and most are easy to reach. There are big, clear analog gauges that can be switched from orange to green illumination for maximum visibility in all light conditions. Nice as these gauges are, however, a car with sporting aspirations deserves a more comprehensive cluster. Seating is outstanding, with support in all the right places and plenty of bolstering to hold you in. The manual seat height adjustment and tilt wheel help you find a good driving position, though the limited tilt range means that the wheel rim hides some of the gauges from tall drivers. Easy-to-reach steering wheel stalks contain lights, wiper, and cruise controls. Heat and ventilation are covered by large rotary dials with clear markings. An additional lever allows you to increase or decrease airflow to either side of the dash. But there is one item that seems to be a recurring bother to us on Mitsubishi-made cars. The company insists on burying its stereos at the absolute lowest point in the center pod. This makes it difficult to drive safely while hunting for controls on its busy face. Mirror controls are down on a console that includes glove box and cup holder. Step to the rear and you'll find plenty of room. You'll also find some of the most comfortable rear seats we've ever sat in. It's nice to see the passengers' seats get equal time with the designers. 3-point safety belts are standard. Unlike many Japanese sedans, this rear seat doesn't fold, but it does have the pull-through cargo door favored by European designers. Trunk space is generous for a small sedan. There's plenty of space for large bags and a low liftover for easy loading. The Mitsubishi Galant GS is EPA rated at 21 city, 27 highway. Our mixed test loop returned a 25 mile per gallon result. Interior sound level is a low 67 decibels. The Galant, for all its good qualities, is entering a market filled with very stiff competition. A similarly equipped Honda Accord LXi costs a lot less, but it lacks the Galant's handling and anti-lock brakes. The Volkswagen Jetta GLI also costs less and comes close to the Galant in handling. Like the Honda, it offers no anti-lock brakes. In our safety check, the Galant GS passes with rear shoulder belts, 5 mile-per-hour bumpers, radial tires, and anti-lock brakes. It lacks only front passive restraints. Hit start with the crisp European styling. That's followed by the smooth, lively engine, superb handling, comfortable interior, and fine braking performance. Misses are limited to the limited tilt range of the steering wheel and poor stereo location. The Galant is quite a departure for Mitsubishi. Up until now, the company has been better known for gadgets than for gear ratios. But the entire Galant line, and particularly the GS, shows the company is now boldly stepping into the most serious of family and sports sedan markets. Ones where Mitsubishi may not be considered the challenger much longer. As